this is Liz. Welcome to my little urban homestead and welcome to Fabric Friday. Introducing Nicky. She is a Necchi Artisan 30S. I wasn't going to do an introduction to her because I did a review last year when I got her. But someone has been messaging me recently that they have just bought one of these machines, but it was second hand and there is no manual with it. So I thought I'll do a little quick walkthrough. I'm not sure if she's got any problems in particular, but I'll just go through it, the different bits on it. As you can see, let me move these things out of the way. I tend to use it just for quilting alone. As you can see, I keep a slider on it. It's not a Supreme slider. I got this one from Australia, I think. So it's not pink and white, but it does exactly the same job, and there's a big hole in it. So if you wanted to leave your feed dogs up and let the machine the fabric slide over easier, you can still use this. But as you can see, it's a bit on the battered side. I've sewn it to backings and everything. This is an extension table that I've made. I had one that was 5 foot long last year that I made, but now she's more in the alcove, so I've remade it at 4 foot long, which is still ideal. It doesn't matter that the wood is slightly raised. I need something to lower that down, but it doesn't matter that the wood is slightly rough there, because as I say, my quilting mat goes over that, so it's not affected by it at all. It is a bit rough in other places, but it doesn't matter. This is the main bit, and over on this side, on my left hand side, is where it takes the weight of the quilt, and it's just for sewing purposes here. Well, let's turn it on now. Moved the camera a bit further back so you can see it. The light is on, and I would have my slider mat on there. It's got in here the thread that I was using last when I was quilting, because I only use this for quilting now, with having 5 machines in total, and this one has got a really big throat space. It's what they actually class as a long arm, but no, it isn't. It has a long arm and a big throat, but it's not an actual long arm machine. But it's brilliant for quilting with. I can't fault it. Keep the stitches on 0. Your needle position is in the middle, because this dial, let me just to start with, as I've said, use it just for quilting. So it's on 0 stitch length, and the stitch width is exactly in the middle, because you need it to be in the middle. You don't want it one side or the other, because it's up to you where you move the fabric. And my feed dogs are permanently lowered. threading is very easy, it's very simple. And if you look on the top of the machine, it has a diagram here, yeah, here, that shows you exactly how to thread your bobbin. So if that's still on the machine, if you buy it second hand, then it's a doddle to always have it to hand. You don't have to keep getting the manual out to check on how you thread your bobbin up. These are all the stitches. There's only 27 stitches in total, but that's more than enough, more than I need. If I want to do more fancy stitches or letters or anything, either I'll free motion quilt them, or if they're small letters, I'll do them on my Simplicity. And it's Simon is a Simplicity satin 197, but this is the manual for the Necchi Artisan 30S. To thread it up, let me show you. Can you see this little diagram here stuck onto it? It shows you how to thread it, and it's numbered 1, 2, round the pretension thread, down, all the way down to the bottom, round this hook thingy, long plastic hook, back up to your needle, round it and back down again. So you just follow your arrows and the needle point itself. It's basically how any other sewing machine goes. It has a needle threader attached to it, and you're best putting your foot down. And to use it, let me show you how I use it. Now you want to make sure that your needle is in the upright position. You can either turn the hand wheel, or you can just drop your needle and back up again. And that means it is definitely in the right position. So catch your thread with this hook, bring it across to the side, carry on pressing down underneath the little hook that's on it, and then let it go. And as you can see, it's now threaded. There's no way I could thread it with these old eyes. The bobbin, there's no actual way of, whereas it's got your diagrams and that on it, this doesn't have a diagram of threading your bobbin, well, putting your bobbin in place, but it is in the manual. And so see, threading machine, the bobbin, and it's very easy. Take the top off, take your bobbin out. If you make sure that when you're pulling your thread off, it comes away from the bottom and the whole of the bobbin then turns anti-clockwise. If you have it this way round, so it comes off the top, that is not the correct way. You want it so it comes off the bottom, you pull it, and the bobbin turns anti-clockwise. That's how you want it. And then you just drop it in, and it's the easiest threading bobbin I've got. Pull it across, tuck it in there. You can do it with a plough wheel, but what I do is drop my needle, pick it up again, and it's through. And you can start using it. If this is of interest to Gilda, there's inserting the bobbin. I've just done a quick talk through of threading the top thread, but there's the diagrams, and that tells you about the needle threader. And the manual also talks you through drawing up your lower thread, but I think most people know how to do that. But you've just seen how it's done on this machine anyway. One thing you might not know about is here. You might wonder what this knob on the front side of it is. That is for your foot pressure. So that is the knob for the pressure that the foot puts on your fabric. It's 0 round through to 3. 3 being the highest amount of pressure on your fabric and 0 being the lowest. So that will tell you that that indicates how much pressure. So if you do normal sewing, between 1 and 2, put it on 1. If it's, put it on 2 if it's thick material, put it on 1. If you're quilting, I find it better because I use 6-ounce polybatting, which is fairly thick. I put it on 0. So there is pressure there, but not much. And the boot just goes through different stitches, zigzags, which is the same on this machine as on any machine. You just turn the down at the sides and to whichever stitch you want. So if you want some of the fancy stitches, sewing buttonholes, there's a buttonhole function on it and a buttonhole foot that came with it. There's a zipper foot that came with it. The darning foot that came with it, I find that really, really good. If I don't use the darning foot, it's because I'm doing ruler work, so I've got my clear ruler foot on. I have got a metal one, but I prefer the clear one. You can do twin needles with it, but I haven't as yet. It's something that I don't do. And then just normal caring for your machine, troubleshooting. And these back few pages just tell you about all the stitches, like a blind hem stitch, so the manual, although it's 38 pages long, it's only really necessary for troubleshooting. So if Gilda's watching this and she still hasn't been able to find a manual and she's having a problem, just let me know and I can check it up in the manual I've got, or give you advice if I've come across that problem. but I find she's a very, very good machine. Like I said, I use her just for quilting. Oh. That's why I wanted this big extension. It has got a knee lift on it, but I don't use a knee lift when I'm quilting, so it's pointless having it on. Plus I can't get it to the edge of the table and still have all this space that I want. So I don't use the knee lifter on it, but seeing as there's only me, Vintage Wilcox and Gibbs has got a knee lifter, the others you haven't, so it isn't too much of a hardship for me. There's no speed selector on this. I would like a speed selector on it, but the one, when I was buying this, the one that had the speed selector on it was several £100 more expensive, and I couldn't warrant it because I have got a lot of control over foot pedals. With being sewing on sewing machines most of my life, so I can go fairly slow using just the foot pedal, but it would be nice to just take 1 or 2 stitches. It's a bit more difficult on this. I can do it on my Simplicity on Simon, but not on Nicky. One thing, she is a low shank machine. Now she came with quite a few feet, zip foot, buttonhole foot, straight foot, that type of thing, and a darning foot, but I have put on other feet that fit other low shank machines. They're not name brands or brand specific, they're universal ones, and she's been fine with all of them. In fact, that clear foot I've got on was really inexpensive, because it came from China, I think. It was only about £5, I think. I'm living off memory here. 18 months ago, well, 2 years ago, because I got it for Simon first of all. But I've got a walking foot, a low shank and a high shank, but the low shank walking foot, it's a universal, not branded names. My Simplicity takes it fine, no problem, quite enjoys it, but when I put it on Nicky, she doesn't particularly like it. But she works as a quilting machine, so I don't need to put it on her. I've got Simon for that. So it seems like she uses any feet for a low shank sewing machine. Hope that helps. So this is just a quick episode, basically showing how I've got it now and showing more of the manual, as Gilda was interested in having a manual. But Gilda, if you're watching, I hope you have hours and hours of fun with your machine. Any problems, don't hesitate to leave me a message and I will try to help out, even put a little video out for you. Thank you. Bye.